are here on, should I say, it's very difficult to get them, just let me put it that way. So now I was you take all of my things, ask them, learn as much, get as much facts as you can from them. So please, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you. A round of applause for her, please. You know how much now, thank you. You're welcome.
Hello, everyone. It's lovely to be here. And I don't blame you for not clapping. I hate it when people doing conferences say, clap for them. Is that all you can do? Clap again. That thing, I'm like, I'm paying money to be here. You should be clapping for me. So go ahead and clap for yourselves. Thank you. So as Mr. Ade has said, I'm an etiquette consultant. And what does that mean? That means I'm passionate about making sure you put your best foot forward, whether in any business relationships or even at social gatherings. A lot of the time we think that it's our book knowledge that gets us far in life, but it's actually all those, unwritten rules, the way we behave, the way we speak, what we wear, our gestures, what is it called? The two of them, verbal and non-verbal gestures, the body language. That's what really helps us score the big deals. So all of us, we're all qualified, we're all lawyers here, but is that X factor that actually pushes you over the edge, that makes a client prefer you to other people? So it's not just your book smarts, because all of you could be on the equal footing, but it's just that X factor that's going to push you forward. Who's doing my slides? Can I get my slide moved forward, please? Who's doing my slides? So the question, of course, is what is this business etiquette? I'm sure growing up as children, our mothers really tried to teach us manners. I don't know if anybody's father tried to teach them manners, but I know our moms always did, especially at the table. Don't speak, don't talk when you're eating. Have you said good morning? If you're Yoruba, you can almost get killed alive. Did you greet? Even in the office, that's the first major problem that brings conflict. So proud, she can't even say good morning. We've all heard the stories about the Uber drivers that you enter their car and there's a fight because you didn't say good morning, even on the phone. Or, you can do things for people and you don't mind. They can do anything to you. But the minute you do something for them and they do not say thank you, as in you are so pissed. This person is so ungrateful. Who's doing my slides? Oh, fantastic. Okay, so can I get it moved forward, please? So you really have to ask yourself, what is business etiquette? I like to liken it to football. Everybody knows that the people that enjoy football and follow football, once there's a foul, it's like everything comes tumbling down. You get the yellow card, which is a warning. Then you get the red card, would make sure that you get off the field. And then some of us even argue that should have been a foul. So, think about it like that. They're really small things, but they're really the building blocks of society. If there was no etiquette or rules or laws on how things should be governed or should be done, there'll be total chaos. And we're all lawyers, so we know all about that. Where there's a lawless country, I'm sure that's what is probably contributing to a lot of the problems that we have today going forward. So manners matter everywhere. It's a code of behavior. It's grounded in common sense. So over years, a lot of the manners or the rules of etiquette have actually changed. They've been relaxed. Now, back in the day, if you didn't have good etiquette, it was a thing of shame. But now, the person that maybe invites you for dinner and notices that your etiquette is off will not make fun of you. They'll even try and embrace you and make you feel comfortable moving forward. And it's our duty to make sure that we have the right etiquette, because it will definitely help us in our professional life. Can I get my slide moved forward, please? So, my hope, go ahead.
Sorry, madam, can I interrupt you for just a few seconds?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I didn't think the person who drove a navy blue Kia car. Please, can I see your side? Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, that's fine. So he asked really nicely. He didn't come and grab the microphone from my hand. So that he's got great etiquette. So now let's think about it. The whole purpose, etiquette is very wide. It's very large. There's so many rules, so many sub-rules, so many unwritten rules, so many written rules. Differs from country to country, society to society, differs even from profession to profession. So I'm going to, what my plan and my hope is that I'm going to just give you the highlights that you'll take with you and that will, give you an immediate change in behavior or something that you will learn that you were not doing before. So let's go. So of course, the first things are first impressions. We always like to say, oh, don't judge a book by the cover, but we all know that's a lie. The only reason you're a friend with with someone is because from the first time you met them, you like them. There's some people that you meet and you say to yourself, my spirit, something in my spirit just did not like this. And at the end of the day, you find that you're either right or wrong. But I'm sure most of the time you are right, yes. So let's even ask ourselves, how long do you think it would take to make a first impression? Remember what they say, it's always hard to make a first impression. What's that? Who knows that saying? Please share it. First impressions last longer. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Yes. So I like volunteers. If you think it is one day, can I see your hand up to make a good first impression? Okay, if you think it's 1 hour, the next slide, please. If you think it's an hour. Please read my slides. Bear with this. I'm on this page. So, the next one, please. So if you think it's 1 minute, may I see your hands up? Excellent. And who thinks it's 30 seconds?
If you give me 30 seconds, I'll give you 30 seconds.
I like what the gentleman in blue said, 30 seconds or less. And especially if you're a woman, you can be looking straight into the person's eyes, but you know the color of their shoes, you even know the label of their clothes, you can even, you know the perfume they're wearing. And the thing is that this particular, time limit to make a first impression has actually been scientifically proven. There's this Professor Maribane, and he did studies into it. May I please have the next slide? And he's actually categorized how, what he's done is to break this first impression into percentage to tell you what is what. So on the slide behind me, you've got that 55% is the way you dress, act, and walk through the door. 7% is only what you say. So along the time, if someone was scamming you and you knew about it, he's telling you all the sweet words. He's telling you everything, but you're thinking to yourself, nah, something is so wrong. And then, even if it's your grammar, the quality of your voice, all those also contribute, but really it's the way you look. So let's even talk about that a bit more. Next slide, please. So we did talk about this, how it's a lasting impression. It helps you build long-term relationships. Because if you look good and someone is attracted to you, they want to be friends with you. They naturally gravitate towards you. I'm sure we all have a friend that she's the socialite and you can't understand why. Everywhere she goes, she's got friends in every area code. She's got, as in what is going on here? You leave a party and she's the one that's still saying goodbye while you've walked to the car. It happens to everyone. So of course, everybody likes the person. If they like you, they do favors for you. It's happened to me in my work. My boss didn't like me. I asked for something. She didn't give me. But other people she gave. It happens everywhere. And then it, of course, helps you fulfill your the potential in your career choice because they like you. People like who is likable. They're like 12 laws of likability. Maybe people that look like them, people that live in the same area as them, even people that go to the same school as them. So please look that up, 12 laws of likability. People like you for different reasons. The next slide, please. So if we do say that first impressions are important, let's even try and talk about what makes this first impression. Can anybody volunteer? Would you like to say something? What do you think will make a good first impression? Go ahead, sir.
Smile.
A smile, friendliness, when you're friendly. Yes, ma'am? Nice compliments. So you say nice things to other people? Okay, go ahead, ma'am. Courtesy. Any other person? Okay, fantastic. All these are actually valid answers. So let's move on to the next slide and see how true they are. So number one, of course, is good hygiene. Go ahead, another one. Dressing for the part, appropriate grooming, clear speech, confidence, awareness, friendliness, and professional body language. All these are all the elements that make a great first impression. Let's start with good hygiene. So you look neat, but have you washed? We live in Nigeria and everybody knows how hot it is. So in the morning time when you wake up and you do your daily, bathing and everything, you put on your deodorant and your perfumes, it's just not enough. So, I encourage people to apply deodorant multiple times a day. I do it. I have a spare one in my car. For ladies, I always encourage maybe in your handbag, you have a little care kit. It has different things in it, floss, even lotion for your hands so that when you wash your hands don't get crusty. But I believe we're all adults. So good hygiene, of course, is a must. When it comes to clear speech, you don't have to have the phone, but you don't mumble your words, speak your words. You don't have to, your Nigerian accent is beautiful. Pick your words. And thank God our, what is the language of instruction is English. So I believe we all know how to speak English. Just speak clearly. People will understand your meaning. The next thing, of course, is awareness. When we say awareness, we mean that, for instance, if you see maybe a lady that is of maybe the Muslim religion, and you're meeting for the first time and doing introductions, you should know that because of her religion, she's not allowed to shake hands with non-relatives. So you putting your hand out, you should know what is going on. You shouldn't do that. Then there's another thing about reading the room, just being tactful. We're still going to come up with that, but those are the things that when we talk about awareness, maybe you go to a client's home, you can see that before you step into their home, there are lots of shoes outside. So definitely it's like a moshalashi. Why are you putting your grubby feet? Maybe they have a policy in their home that you're not meant to wear shoes into their home. So really reading the room, being aware of what is going on. You see your friend, yesterday, she didn't have a big pimple on her forehead. And then today she has a big pimple. And the first thing, what happened to you? It's so unnecessary. She already knows she has a big pimple on her forehead. You do not have to bring it to the forefront. Moving on, of course, confidence. People are attracted to people that are confident. You get nervous when somebody is not confident. Like, it doesn't garner maybe believe in the person that this person can do your job. But if you're sure, and as lawyers, we're taught confidence that even if you're chatting rubbish, still stand on it. Don't be afraid. That leads me to a story. So in my present posting, they brought a man before me, and I need to sign off before maybe charges can be filed before the court. And he's a lawyer, and he kept shouting, I'm a lawyer, 35 years of being a lawyer. And he faced the policeman that, look, if you're afraid to talk to your DCO, I'm not afraid of your DCO. Who is your DCO? But, so that was, you said, as a lawyer, you have to be fearless. But, there's also fearless, this situation, because it's allegedly that he took money to do a deal and he didn't deliver. So you antagonizing the people that can arrest you and put you behind bars, it doesn't make sense. Moving on. So, of course, friendliness. People love, the open body posture. They love it if you have a smile, you're approachable. Then we have professional body language. You can say a lot without even opening your mouth. When people ask you to do things, is your body language enthusiastic? Do you go ahead and smile, nod, and, are you approachable? Those type of things. Then, of course, appropriate grooming. So appropriate grooming is usually the number one. Remember, this is when people look at you and they want you to do their work for them or their business because you are appropriately dressed for what they think you can do. May I have the next slide? As lawyers, there's a certain, I don't know, there's a certain way people expect us to be. There's a certain way people expect us to dress. There's a certain way people expect us to act. That's just it for lawyers. You can't say, I remember in my early years, I was working in a company and it was a Friday. And I followed my other colleagues to do Dress Down Friday. Unfortunately for me, the chief legal officer for the company needed maybe a lawyer to come through. And the minute I walked in, I think I was wearing maybe a boo-boo. The guy looked at me funny. Because when others can do Dress Down Friday, as a lawyer, you're expected to still be, really well dressed because anything can happen at any time. So from that day moving forward, it has never happened to me again. So let's talk about, good hygiene and appropriate grooming, work attire, the accessories, hair, nails, body, and shoes. I'm going to start with shoes. Sometimes it's a very, very overlooked aspect of our dressing. You have wearing heels and the bottom of the heel is peeling or the heel has gone, and then as a lady you're moving around and they can hear pa pa pa, I mean co everywhere. Even for men, your shoes are not polished. Just cleaning your socks. I mean, you can't wear the socks for the whole week. Wash it. Little things like that. For body, dress for the body you have now, not the one that you think you're gonna have. Just for the one that you have right now. For nails, make them, if you're not doing your nails, make sure they're clean. Even for the men, some men have this little finger that the nail is so long. Let's think about it. Then for hair, just an appropriate hairstyle is okay. And as women actually rise in the field, you find that the hair gets shorter. Not because they don't have the money to do it, but the time aspect. So think back to all the CEOs that most of them really have the short hair. Of course, accessories. Let's do the rule of 13 for accessories. So where you've dressed, as you're going out of the door, look in the mirror again and take something off. If you're Nigerian, of course you're all Nigerian, yeah. I love shiny things. If it's shiny, glittery like this, I'm really attracted to it. But you have to ask yourself, is this really appropriate for work? And I do a lot of litigation. That means I'm in court a lot. And it's like tiny earrings, tiny this, or even hardly any jewelry. So do we have any litigators here? People that go to court? Excellent. Oh, fantastic. So if you're lucky for work attire, it's the standard suit, tie. If you're lucky that you have even, whenever I do this lecture, I usually envy people that have a uniform, because then you're not waking up in the morning, opening your wardrobe and trying to decide what to wear. For men, it's easy, because your suit's either blue, black, or gray. Your shirts are either white, blue. Your ties are now, funky, but then for men, I usually think of the past presidents. And if you actually Google it and look for a picture of them, you see that all of them are wearing either a blue tie, a blue suit, a black suit. The ties are either blue or the ties are red. May I have the next slide, please? So grooming, grooming is the thing that can open doors for you. In those days, maybe page 3 of the Punch, you see where they catch someone that he's being a fake doctor. And he can do it because he's just got the white jacket on and he's got the stethoscope around his neck. And everybody automatically believes he must be a doctor. Or when they catch one of my recent cases, they caught, there was a patrol going on and they caught 2 boys. And these boys were in uniform. So the patrol stopped them only to find out that they were fake soldiers. But they looked the part. They had even printed ID cards. And they said they were using it for escort because that's how they were feeding and making extra money. And the law says, like, if you're, I think it's section 78 of the Lagos State Criminal Law and 79, The wearing the uniform or wearing part of the uniform is only 3 years, but printing that ID card is 14 years. So those boys are going to jail. But they got away with it for so long because they were dressed the part. May I have the next slide, please? So these are the basics for dressing. Even with our weather, because we were colonized by the British, there's just an expected way that we dress. So we vary it. In one of my many jobs, I was working in I think it was it was a dress shop. So the merchandisers will come to tell us about the latest collection. And I remember the woman always said, for you to start your wardrobe, just have a jacket and pants. That's for the men. Then for women, you can have your jacket, you can have either pants or a skirt, and then you can build your wardrobe from there. So already, we as lawyers, that's how we are expected to dress in suits. But I'm still looking forward to the day with the heat in this country, with the epileptic power supply, that maybe one day we will be spared or excused, but it's even unlikely to happen. Now, even for some of the places, businesses, they won't even allow you to take Ankara and sew a skirt and a top. But Ankara is cotton instead of the wool suit. But maybe one day we'll get there. But right now, this is where we're at. May I please have the next slide? So a lot of the time now, people say business casual, but I believe that business casual can be so misunderstood. Let's even look at it this way. It's actually the tech bros that have caused all these problems for us. Because yes, now in the 50s, 60s, 70s, business was a suit. Your nice suit, your jacket, and your pants. That was business. In the 80s, we had the power suit. The ones with the big shoulder pads. But by the time the tech bros came, tech bro that's working in his garage, where is he going? There's no need for it. So now we've got all sorts of variations of dressing. But as lawyers, let us stick with our, suits as much as we can. Then, another thing is that when we say dress down or business casual, I like to point out that jeans is not business casual. Jeans is not business casual. Khaki pants, something that's not jeans. Because jeans is workwear. Jeans is what the laborers or the people working in the ranches, that's what they wear. I know it's fashionable, but please shoot me after this, but have an open mind. Jeans is not for the office. It's not business casual, as much as possible. So then, of course, there's all this athleisure wear now. Athleisure wear, the thing that will have Adidas. It looks really pretty and smart, but it's not workwear. May I please have the next slide? So really, people judge us the way we dress. I remember one of my, when we were in law school, one of my colleagues, he's from the East. And one day he said, that my governor, always dressing like palm wine tapper, because in his mind, if you have that prestigious position, there's a way you should look. So people will judge you about how you wear. Your colors, choose your colors wisely. Every color has a meaning. Okay, let's talk about some. What do you think white stands for? Purity. And what about blue? Is it authority? Purple is royal. Yellow is what? Happiness. My friend Asabe, when she was younger, and if a guy wearing a yellow shirt comes to toast her, lie, she'll never agree. Yellow. Asabe hated yellow, Green is the color of money. So black is what? Dignity. So if you remember I spoke about the American presidents, when they wear the red tie, it's a sign of authority, power. That's why they wear the red tie. So all colors, in your spare time, just go and look at colors and see what they mean. Another person, when I gave this particular training to an investment banking, One of the ladies now said, she now understands. So she had been to a meeting with her boss, and meeting was over. It was a lunch meeting, and everybody had left, but she had to go back. She had left with her boss, but had to go back to go and get something from the table. And the person at the table was asking her, "Are you with him?" So she couldn't understand what he was talking about. What do you mean with him? But the thing was that she wore a red dress. So in his mind, why would you wear a red dress to a business meeting? It seemed strange to his mind. So, he was like, Abi, is there something else going on? So even men, like the way colors even play on the psychology of people. For men, red may mean something else. For women, it's just a nice color. So there's a psychology. If you go and meet someone and you want something, it might be from his church. In his church, they don't wear certain colors. So really think it through. So business casual is one notch down from business professional. Remember, no jeans for business casual. So for casual clothes, you can just wear maybe khaki pants. Even if you're not wearing a tie, a nice shirt with a jacket for the men. For the ladies, even a nice dress with nice heels is good. So one size does not fit all. Dress for the industry you work for or the job that you have. I don't know if I spoke about the tech bros. For instance, when you see Bill Gates in his company with his fellow tech bros, they wear jeans, they wear shirts, button-down shirts with sweaters. But when he's going to face the Senate in Capitol Hill, he wears a suit. He doesn't rock up in his jeans. He dresses appropriately for that. So, of course, personal props and accessories, use the rule of 13. May I please have the next slide? So this, to show you what business casual look like, these are a bunch of Harvard University professors. So none of them is wearing a tie, shirts, They still happen to look professional even though they are casual, business casual. Please, may I have the next slide? And this is just to show you about when I spoke about women, that the higher they rise in the companies or in hierarchy, the hair gets shorter. Not because they cannot afford to do their hair, but because of the time commitment. So some of us will just put on our wigs and we just go because it's easier. And I keep telling people in 2022, there's no reason for anyone not to look good, There are many, even if you started out, you're not facially pretty or whatever, you can get everything done. You can now be a handsome woman in 2022. You can be a handsome woman. May I please have the next slide? So the next topic is we're going to be talking about conversation. A lot of us do a lot of online things now. But before you put ink to paper for that multi-million-dollar deal, they want to see you. So people are behind their computers, computing, making the money. But when it comes to the real money, people definitely want to see you. And this is where the art of communication comes in. May I have the next slide, please? So remember when we spoke about first impressions, and it was 35% for how you talk, your voice, the timbre of your voice, on and on, like that. This is what we're talking about. So, words are words, but it's you that you put your unique meaning to them. The way you talk, your cadence. Are you a fast talker? Are you a slow talker? I know you have your favorite people that you like in the movies or on the radio. There's something about their voice that sends chills down your spine, or there's something about their voice that makes you listen. This is exactly what it is. In Nigeria, for instance, I know that most people are standing right in front of you, but they're screaming into your face. So the volume is just, I don't know whether it's because our country is noisy, but that's just how it is. So all these are yours uniquely, and you can change. If you're not happy with the way you're talking right now, you can actually practice and change it and speak better than you want to. May I please have the next slide? So this is a conversation how to. I'm usually a very fast talker, but I know I'll be speaking here, so I've consciously slowed myself down so that everybody can hear what I'm saying. But I'm not such a slow talker that I will now pick my words one by one, you know. Of course, looking people in the eye, making eye contact is so important. And of course, we're seeing this where this did not favor us in the past. I remember one time when I read a story about how the American embassy were denying visas because the people applying would not look the what are they called, the interviewers in the eye. You know, because it's got a cultural norms here. How can you be looking at me in the eye? How can you be somebody in authority or older than you? You be looking at them in the eye. It's wrong now. Oh, wrong now. You know. So of course, ask questions, show interest. You know, how do you show interest? You nod. You know, really? You know, not the person who will be talking and you be. So of course, listening carefully. As lawyers, you need to listen because people, you hear the said and unsaid. You're actually looking for that unsaid. If your client comes to you and says, I just want to make money, I just want to make money, you know, you ask questions. What for? It might be a burning desire that he has, something that he wants to accomplish. So you listen. Is it just the money he wants? Maybe it's the prestige the money will give to him. It's just not the funds that he wants. Then let people finish talking. One of the things, I'm also guilty of this, where as Nigerians, we're very opinionated. You know, it was when I traveled for a while that I learned to say I don't know. Before that, like, even if I don't know, I'll say maybe. Have you ever asked anybody for directions? They don't know. I don't know is I don't know. There's nobody that's going to kill you for it. But we'll say, maybe, you know. And then, you know, the simple question is or for instance, let me look for, okay, is the MD of this place here? Maybe I don't know, I don't know. You know, say, and he can be here, you know. At least by now, at this time, he should be here, Abby. Is he not the MD of the organization? You know? So, listen carefully, do not interrupt, and end the conversation pleasantly. This is very, very, very important. A lot of us may know how to start conversations, but we do not know how to end conversations. May I have the next slide, please? A lot of us seem to, we just finish talking and we move on. But say things like, it was lovely to have met you, I really enjoyed this conversation, and you move on. That's the end of the conversation. And then conversations to avoid. I cannot stress this enough. Like I said, as Nigerians, we're very opinionated. Why are you so fat? Oh, girl, you're really enjoying. Some things you should not talk about. You just don't. You know, the second one, the third one, it's going to cause problems. The fourth one is causing so many problems now, you know. I'm not saying don't express yourself, but like I said, be aware, read the room. There's some places you talk about it, and sometimes it's best not to, because it will always lead to passions, then illness, possessions, bodily functions. I can't tell you, that bodily functions one floors me every time. You're having lunch with someone and they're telling you how they drank something bitters and they flushed. I say, what? The only person that wants to know about that is your doctor. I'm not interested in such things. Possessions, you know, people that, I have the latest car, I have the latest this. God forgive me. I hope this video doesn't get out, but I have this family member. And if you say, this your glass cup is nice, you know what she'll say? This one, very expensive. Is the best. Next slide, please. So there's so much to be said about this physics, sex, religion, politics, illness, possessions, bodily functions. There are things that you should just keep out of your conversation. It is not necessary. Think about it. I'm sure all of us have had someone talk to us about something that was not their business. You know, think about it. It was so inappropriate. And then what that does is that it leaves you flabbergasted because you are now speechless. You don't even know how to respond. And if you actually say what is in your mind, that's the end of that thing, of that whole relationship. May I have the next slide, please? Okay. So tact and discretion, the real art of conversation. It's not everything you see you must say. What is left unsaid is even more important. I'll kind of give you an example. So in my present posting, I deal with a lot of policemen. So the policeman comes, I'm looking through his papers, seeing what it is, doing the job that I meant to do. And he says to me, he says, you don't go drop baby, come office. My head is down. So I now look up. I said, are you talking to me? With all the boldness. He said, yes. I said, Oga, let's keep it professional. Oga, let's keep it professional. My personal life is none of your business. That's not why you are here. After that, the man kept quiet. When he was going, thank you, madam, and he left. It was so tactless. We're in a professional office, and you're asking me such a question. Why? So tactless. But as females, we get a lot of it. And I'm sure some men also get a lot of it. Am I right? Some men get it too. But females, we know we get it a lot. People just chatting crap about it, saying nonsense. 24/7. Saying nonsense. Another one. So a colleague comes to greet me, and I'm the way I greet the European style, kiss here, not, and the next thing the policeman will say that, in Yoruba, if that was my wife, madam, see how you greeted that man. If it was my wife, I would have beaten her. I said, Oga, is that why you are here? Please mind your business and face what you came to say. And he kept saying it on his, see how he held her. I mean, it's so unnecessary. Mind your business. That's not why you're here. May I have the next slide, please? So this is one that is very, very important with introductions. Introducing yourself to people, and even introducing people that you're with to others. A lot of the time when we see friends that we know, we really don't know how to introduce. And even if we want to introduce, sometimes we've forgotten the other person's name. So you hear guys, chairman, boss. So me, as a personal motto, even if I met you 30 minutes ago, I will still introduce myself because I know you may have forgotten, but I don't want to embarrass you. So everywhere I go, then you know what people say? When I go, oh, hi, it's Yeye Bush. I know you now. I know your name. It's a lie. They've forgotten who you are. They've forgotten who you are. So if I was Davido now, or D'banj, or Burna Boy that's easily recognizable, I'll expect you to know who I am. But I'm not any of those people. I'm me. So, I will help you out and introduce myself to you. May I please have the next slide? So we're going to talk about the 6 S's of introduction. Please go ahead. Keep pressing it. Can we see all that? Those are the 6 S's of introduction. And I'm going to demonstrate. So may I have you come up, please? Okay, come up. So one of the things is to stand up for all introductions. You stand up for all introductions. Let's try and put ourselves like this way. So you stand up for all introductions, and you see their eyes, and you say your name. So let's say your name, all the 6 S's that's written up there. All right, so hello.
Hi.
I'm Yeye Bush.
My name is Lolade.
Oh, hello, Lolade. Pleased to meet you.
Same.
But I wanted her to repeat my name. And the reason she's repeating my name is so that she'll remember it. So when I say, hello, I'm Yeye Bush, you say,
Yeye Bush.
You say, hello, Yeye Bush.
Hello, Yeye Bush.
Then you say your name.
My name is Lolade.
Lolade, pleased to meet you.
Same here.
Now, one of the things we talk about is also the handshake. Have you ever seen someone, you want to shake a person's hand and they're like this? That's the limp fish. The limp fish. It's so unprofessional. But of course, make sure your hands are clean. And then when we spoke about good hygiene, I forgot to say it. A lot of men don't wash their hands after they use the toilet. So if you can, please avoid shaking their hands. And you can all beat me afterwards. Okay. But a lot of guys don't. Pardon? I don't like to shake men because you know where I work, you see them coming out of the washroom and they're still adjusting their pants. And you know this guy did not wash his hands. Oh my God. So make sure your hands are clean and dry, because nobody wants to shake a sweaty palm. And this is called your web. Can you do like this? This is called your web. So make sure your web to web, and a few points. This is the politician's handshake. And then when the handshake passes, just shake properly, like not too much pressure. Some people are doing the bone crusher where they're crushing your hands. I mean, look, and I think men do it to men to kind of show dominance. There's the dominant handshake so you force the person down. All these things are psychology. You force the person down. Thank you. So you look at the face, say your name, and then what happens? So apart from that, I've introduced myself to her. It's just one-on-one. But what happens when you even need to introduce a group of people? May I have the next slide, please? So there's actually a method to this. Who is introduced to who? Where not to mention the name of the other person, honorifics, and what to do when you forget her name. So who is introduced to who? On the social ladder, women are more important than men. Girls are more important than boys. So for instance, can I get a man and a woman? Who would like to volunteer? That handsome chap. Yeah, come. Thank you. Would you like to come? So I'm going to show you how it's done. Oh, you're volunteering. Oh, excellent. Thank you for coming out. Okay, so good morning. Let's stand one here and one here. So thank you. What's your name?
Inumidu.
And what's your name?
Lazarus.
Lazarus. So I know Inumidu and I know Lazarus. So I'll say to Inumidu, may I please introduce to you Lazarus? And I'll say, Lazarus, this is Inumidu. So sometimes you might want to add a bit of context. So I could say, Inumidu, may I introduce to you? Remember, this is what I said. I did not say, may I introduce you to. I said, may I introduce to you? Because she's socially more important than him. Because she's female. So that's how it works. So even if they were both on the same setting, I'd introduce her first. Now, if he was, of course, socially higher, I'd introduce him. I would ask his permission to introduce her. It's a bit, but let's do the demonstration and see if you can pick it. So I'll say, Inumidu, may I introduce to you Lazarus? Okay. So, and I'll say, oh, Lazarus, please meet Inumidu. Then I can talk a little bit about Inumidu. I say Inumidu is from XY law firm. She's an expert in what? She's an expert in contract law. And I'll say Lazarus came from XYZ law firm. He's the in-house counsel on contracts. And then you guys will now shake hands. Yes. Did you notice what happened? She put out her hand first. So always wait for the lady to put out their hand before you put out your hand. If the lady does not put out her hand, don't put out your hand. Please shake. Pleased to meet you. Is that clear? Do we kind of understand that? Okay. All right, you guys can sit down.
Thank you.
So of course, if the person is world famous, for example, His Excellency, the Lagos State Governor, it would be stupid of me to say, oh, Inumidu, His Excellency, this state governor. That's like superfluous. It's very unnecessary. So of course I'll say, Your Excellency, may I introduce to you Inumidu? She's from XYZ law firm. She's the in-house counsel, the expert on contracts. Inumidu, Your Excellency. End of story. Then what about honorifics? Nigerians, they will kill you if you leave out Igwe, Honorable, Pastor, Chief, African Solaceman, Chairman, as in on and on and on. Because listen, even it's just here that we are so particular about it. For instance, if it was in the monarchy, that maybe the UK monarchy, they'll tell you, oh, I'm Charles. Of course, they know you know who they are. They'll say, I'm Charles. Your Obama will say, I'm Barack. But here, you dare not try it. You dare not try. You must attach the honorifics. It's really important. You must, because people will take umbrage. Other persons may not take umbrage, but here you have to be really careful. And you have to also know the right title. I've had letters to my house addressed to chief. Meanwhile, maybe the person living in my house is Otumba. So people are also, so you research as much as possible. Know the right spelling, the right honorific, because people get easily offended. If for academics especially, if you're calling someone that's maybe a professor and doctor, it's like a cardinal sin. So please, please, please. Now, what do you do when you forget a person's name? What's that your name again? What's that your name again? Chairman, boss, because it's embarrassing to admit that you've forgotten a person's name. It's embarrassing, but it's okay. But now that we know etiquette, we can say, could you tell me your name again? Could you tell me that your lovely name again? Sometimes try not to use the word reminds, because it's like, so I'm so forgettable. I was forgettable the first time. That's why you don't remember. So use words like, could you please tell me your name again? May I have the next one, please? Oh, okay. So the act of making contact and exchanging information with other people, groups, institutions, to develop mutually beneficial relationships. That's what networking is. And I know some of you, after the first speaker spoke, you all went up to her and started speaking to her. So you were actually networking at the time. That's what you were doing. Next slide, please. And networking really brings a lot of benefits. So a lot of the time, when people ask you, tell me about yourself. Remember, if you get pulled over by the police and they say, can we meet you? They're basically asking you, tell me about yourself. A lot of women start with, I'm a wife, I'm a mother of 4. Is that your whole identity? Or I went to OAU. Great effect. Sorry. So, actually forming this is really, really important. So I'm going to give you all a few minutes to quickly write down, following this format, write something down. Just write something down because it will always come up. You're going for a job interview. They have your CV in front of you, so they already know who you are, your academics, but they want to really get to know you. How's it going?
Hi, thank you.
Okay. Great job. Oh yeah. Write something down. So it's not as easy, Abby.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's why when they ask you who are you, a lot of us get tongue-tied because you don't even know what to write. What are you proud about? Will I call you? Can I call you to come to the front? Thank you. Right, you don't you know yourself? Oh yeah. Everybody must write. So. Oh.
I just wanted to say, people online, so you can carry them along as well.
Okay. Oh, excellent. Please, if you're online, go ahead and write. Can they hear me through this?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're online, please go ahead and do it yourself. Write for yourself using this format. Has anyone finished? Someone has finished? Some people are not writing. This is for yourself. I probably may not call you out to read it out, but it's for you. So at least you have an idea. When you go out, you're not just talking about, oh, I got a 2-1 in Unilag, my professors liked me, or something daft like that. Oh, yeah. So you don't say, oh, I work at XYZ. What really defines you? Who are you? Because like I said before, when you meet a person or you go for interviews or the opportunities or your client already knows you're good. And if they have to choose between you and someone else, it's usually the X factor that will make them choose you. So can we get a volunteer? Has anyone finished? Would like to come and read it out? Please come. I would rather it's not law related.
Okay, fantastic. So start with my name.
So come here.
Okay, so my name is I happen to be a hair, fashion, and beauty enthusiast. My achievements are that I've been published in Gold. I also have Deswa Etomi for the AMBCAs this year. I'm also a lawyer, that's a fun fact. So I come every day because and my ambition is to sort of bridge the gap between, hair and the informal side of things in Nigeria and obviously my legal background. So basically like formalizing beauty industry in Nigeria. That's my ambition.
Quite impressive. Thank you. So can we have the gentleman I'd spoken with to please come forward and do this?
Good afternoon, everybody. And
several cases started from all of law. Part of our meetings are like friends. Vision is to be a reference point in my life profession.
That's a great try. But I think Mr. Humode then needs to loosen up a bit. listen. You see, that's the problem with lawyers. We're so stiff. And sometimes people want to know our innermost stories. It's just not our wins or things that what makes us us. And if they hear our story, they can identify with something and even want to, because of that, give us the job. So let me do a bit about myself. So my calling, of course, is etiquette. I'm really passionate about helping people make the right decisions, help them, be socially at an advantage in business, as well as in all social settings. My achievement, what I'm really, really proud of, is that I've featured on Canadian television, the Dennis Marilyn show, which is a lifestyle show. I was really, really proud of that moment. I was actually in Nigeria. It was during COVID, and they beamed it. You know how they do the thing. That was a really proud moment because I woke up and the next day I had maybe so many followers following me just from that. And it felt good to have represented the country so well in that light. Of course, my fun fact is that I love tiny houses. You know those houses on wheels that you can put in the back of your car. and go with it anywhere you want. I'd really love to own one and maybe even have a tiny house community. And then one day, I want to have a proper school of etiquette where people, you can send your children or even come in yourself and do courses. That's what I want to do for myself. Thank you. So that's it. So that piece of paper, please go ahead and keep it. And then can I have the next slide, please? So when you're networking, like I said, I'm a mother of 4, I'm a wife. We already know you're lawyers. Talk about something, something that's pressing on you that you really want to achieve your story. How do you like your life to be? What do you seek being? That's really important. And then listen to people when they talk. People love people who listen. They'll say, oh, that person is such a lovely person. They listen. A lot of the time people are talking, they're not listening. So just listen. It's a really important skill. And then share. One of the things I find about Nigerians is when you ask them a question, they'll say, it is God, though. We thank God, though. That thing does my head in. Or how did you achieve this? It is God, though. You like there's something called gatekeepers. When you keep the information, why? Oh, this music is nice. You like it, and that's it. Be free. Be one of the people that somebody can call. I try and make myself maybe like really open with my sources. I don't gatekeep anything. When you call me and you ask me a question, I'll give you the answer if I know it. If I don't know it, I'll tell you I don't know it. But if I do come across it, I'll let you know. So I'm not going to say I don't gatekeep and block people's chances. But here in this country, how you take them? Now God though, I don't know. That's now so I see am. Just open up and tell people. So ask questions. Nobody is what the reciprocal of knowledge. I'm sorry? Island of knowledge. Nobody knows it all. So ask. As we go along, I'm going to tell you one of the things. If I go into a new situation, I'm always asking questions because I want to know. And if there's somebody that can tell me, standing in front of me, instead of me Googling or looking through a book, I take advantage of that person and I ask questions. I'm never shy, I just ask questions. And then you may find that another person's good fortune will lift your own. So if something is going great in their life and you can actually learn from that person, it will help you in your own life. There's so many little instances. It's just like maybe you have a problem, you talk about it. And someone says, oh, you want to meet XYZ, don't worry, I know him, I'll make an introduction. As easy as that. But how they say, open mouths, closed mouths don't get fed. That's the same thing. So now moving on, now that we've done all this, we're going to actually do a little bit of networking. Does anyone actually come from anybody's workplace here? Are you sent in pairs, or there are 3 people from the same office, or each person is here on their own? So you're all different. That means you've not really all met each other before. Great. So I want all of us to stand up. Approach someone that looks friendly, that you feel is friendly, and just have for the next 10 minutes, let's have conversations and learn about the person. Remember when we spoke about shaking hands? You can release your hands. You have been shaking for too long, both of you. Stand up for all introduction. Hello, how are you?
My name is Pearl.
Hello, Pearl. Pleased to meet you. I'm Yeye Bush.
Nice to meet you,
Same
Yeye Bush.
here.
I already know your name.
Oh, how do you know my name?
From watching your presentation.
On this subject. Oh,
You really introduced us like yes. Now therefore I know you. Wherever I see you, I can walk up to you and be like, hey, do you remember me? From first name basis now.
So what law firm are you from?
Streams was and Co. But I actually not cop with my law firm. They don't even know I'm here.
Okay.
But I just had to come and sort of see. And really, I've enjoyed it so far so good. I've learned so much. Like totally worth it.
Wait, let me introduce you. May I introduce to you Kanayo O Kanayo? Mr. Kanayo, this is Pearl. So shake hands.
Nice meeting
I know who you are.
Eye contact.
Very important. You know, I'm bored at doing that.
Yeah.
I attended a leadership conference last year, and we were told that if you're given the opportunity to introduce yourself,
Yeah.
17 seconds, max, 20 seconds maximum.
That's much faster than I thought.
No, because that's why I wrote this. That I wanted to come out, but you know, because I'm popular, I don't like coming out to except when I'm called. You know, because my face already attracts attention.
Yes, it
So
does.
this is the way I summarize it. My name is Kanayo Kanayo. I'm an actor and a lawyer. I'm a pioneer of the Nollywood industry, having stayed in the 1992 epic Living in Bondage. In the over 28 years of my practice, I have helped to train over 3,000 young artists to achieve their dream. As a lawyer, I specialize in advocacy, and in this regard, I presently produce The People's Lawyer, a law clinic. I'm also an author. What I've just said now is 20 seconds.
Oh wow,
It's captured everything about me.
In 20 seconds.
Yeah.
that's a lesson right there.
No, so I just needed to start with. I wanted to come out and say it so that people will also learn. It's very important because a man gives you his complimentary card,
Yes.
and like she said, don't be too forward giving somebody a complimentary card. But he trashes it immediately he leaves your presence.
Yeah.
I do it too.
So the man immediately finishes his introduction. The man will say, or woman will say, "Can I get your card?" Let the person ask for it.
In fact, that's our next slide.
Okay.
That's our next.
You know,
That's amazing.
you know, within the culture of where we also operate, most of these things,
The slide, nobody knows.
you need to be very.
Never actually did.
No. Just like she said about chairman, you must give people your titles here. Unless you want to lose the grip. You understand? You don't meet the owner of if and call him his first name.
Are you mad? Ojajawa.
Ojaja. Exactly.
And the bowing too.
The
Oh, yeah.
bowing,
You have to.
the reflecting, everything.
She's not with you, man.
I'm so happy to have met you. We'll still take a picture together.
Oh, sure, I know.
Thank you. Pearl, it's lovely. Thank you for coming up to talk to me. I really appreciate
I
it.
saw you by yourself. I was like, oh.
Thank you. It's almost 2 o'clock. I think I should do. Okay. Can I do till like 2:30?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes. Because I know you have another slide.
Yeah, so no, I'm going to try and do everything and finish. Then I'll now take the other slide. So you can have the lunch
It's
13:45.
we'll have lunch for 2:45. 2:30.
Yeah, you want to do your lunch for
No,
2:30?
tell me what.
Yeah, you can do your lunch for 2:30.
So you want your 2:30?
Yeah. When did I start?
You started about 12:30.
Okay, so 2:30 will be 2 hours.
It's 2 hours.
Okay. Now I want to do 2:30. Hi, baby, how are you? I see us hungry. Have we known each other?
No, my name is Daniela. I'm a legal practitioner, but I also work in Law FM radio station. Yes, and I would like to bring you on. I don't know if you still in Lagos. Yes, because I anchor a program called Women's Day. So I Law FM 109. One of the radio station.
That's fantastic. Where are you located?
Yes, so just look at the expressway. But let me just.
Okay. Oh, it's okay.
I absolutely love your class.
Thank you, baby.
I love your whole outfit.
Thank you, Nini. 5'6". 5'6". 150. I'm expecting your call. I think we're done. Have we done 10 minutes already? Almost 10 minutes, okay. Well done, everyone. Well done, everyone. Well done, everyone. Well done, everyone. So let us settle down. Let us settle down. Let us settle down. Let us settle down. Well done. Let us begin to settle down. 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 I hope the people at home have also done that. Let us settle down, everyone. Settle down. So let us now come and test our listening skills. Let us test our networking skills. So, one house. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for participating. So let us quickly settle down. And now we're going to test our listening skills as well as our networking skills. So I'm going to hand over the microphone to Tayo. And she's going to tell me about the person she met. She's going to tell all of us about the person she met.
Wow. Okay, here goes. Mr. Yusuf, conversation. So, Ola and Co. Please, anyone I get wrong, feel free to just. And Co. Right cases. He actually asked a question. Fun fact. He was the one that asked a question this morning in relation to Harvard law, and I just, prompted to him a little bit more about that, and we basically talked about how the copyright go and how clients come in a little bit after sometimes rather than before or while they are entering into country. So it was great to meet him, and that's what I have.